Okay, so it's Tuesday, 15:56, 18 seconds here, 2023, 5th month, May, 23rd day. Okay, so here's the fire pump. There's the fittings. Here's a hose that goes it hooks up to here, hooks up to that. You know, it would hook up to the well pipe. You know, I had it straight in. And then I realized, well, fuck. I know I won't be able to pump the water up. I should go get the pump so I can show you. Or so I can get it on the record. Fuck. Ah, fucking shit. Fucking falling all over. Yeah, that's what I needed the second valve for. Okay, so I would put this on top of there. This goes on top of that, which allows me to screw this onto there. Okay, so there's that screws on there. So in order to get the water to fill this pipe up, I got to unloosen this. This was a $60 valve. Unloosen it, put water down it, because this pipe is filled with 15 foot of rock. So the water, in a way, that's kind of a blessing, because it allows the water to fill all the way up real nice. Then I can shut it off, and I can start pumping the pump. You know, at first I just connected it down here. I could get it to pump until it would start to pump, and once it pumped, then I'd shut this off, and then the water would hold. But it naturally just wants to go back down after a couple days. So what I needed was another valve. Another valve right here, so that I wouldn't have to keep disconnecting this, because I would have to pump the water up, and I'd have to get this off, and then connect this onto there and connect it to the fire pump. So now I know why I need the other valve now. So I need another valve right here. So I can shut it off. That way air won't suck through the valve. There's little ants. Fucking ants on here. want them guys to be on there. Now this one's got a hole in it too. But I got some plugs here to plug it up with. I got different plugs. I got one here. But I'm wondering if it'll go down tight enough, because just doesn't seem to be any bottom end down there to really stop anything and to really get a good seal. So I got this one also. It's got a lip on it, so it might go all the way down, but then it might bottom out there and knock against there and not go all the way down. But I could get some washers. Who knows? It doesn't even look like the washers would fit. But anyway, I just got it anyway. And then this plug plugs into there and it comes out also. I just got all the different options I could, in case all these different things. You never know with me. Always something coming up. I have to run to the store. So I said, fuck it, I'm just going to get everything I can think of to get it all in one fucking shot for a quarter of the money. So anyway, so if I get another valve, which is going to be another $60, and put it in between here and the pump, that way I could just keep the pump on here all the time and open both valves up. I need a third valve. I need a valve for over here too, because I'm going to have to shut this off. Yeah, so now I can see now that I need 3 valves. I can see I need 3 valves. One for here, because I'm going to have to shut the air off over here going to the pump, and shut the air off over here going to the pump, going to the manual pump. Well, shut the air off here, shut the air off here, that way I can pump it. And when I get the water up here, then I can shut it off to hold it, and shut this one off. And then have a place where I can open this up and fill the pipe with water, and fill this whole pipe with water, because it's going to come into here. Because once it gets into there, there is a gasket right here that blocks this off. But once there's water in here, it'll open up, because it just flaps free. So let me go get that to show you. So here's the flapper. And I took this, I disassembled this yesterday, because first, so anyway, so there's the flapper. Here's how it goes there, and it just rides free and opens like that. So, but I had a hell of a time figuring out how to connect all this, because there's nothing free turning except to loosen this thing and get this thing to somewhat spin inside there. But I had no idea that this was a flapper open valve. Because at first I put this on here, or I connected the pump, this manual pump, to here, and I could not get anything to come through. But it should have came through, but it didn't come through because this was leaking. I actually had to cut this again. Well, I cut this in, but I had to reconfigure this and get another one of these plastic ones, because that's the only thing that really fits tight in here. Otherwise, I'll go show you this other one that I was using. Otherwise, I was using this one here. Whoops. This one here, it's just a metal one, and it comes out of here. I was using this as a valve, but it fucking cracked. I tightened it up and it cracked. This here, and this came with the strainer thing, and it came with one of these. But this thing fit too loose into the hose, and I couldn't really get it to. I couldn't get a good seal, so when I was manually pumping over here, when I had this manual pump right here. I had this manual pump. I had it connected to this end. I started pumping, and it would I could hear it just go, because I had that metal valve that I just showed you a couple minutes ago. So, and this I had to replace this one yesterday too, because when I pulled the old one out, the threads were stripped. And the threads were stripped. I'll show you this one here. The threads were stripped on it. See how stripped those threads are? Just fucking stripped. So I had to cut this out in order to get it out of the hose, because it was so fucking tight in there. I had to cut this with a fucking saw. There's Boob. Hi, Boob. So, I used this saw. I used one of these saws here. One of those with the pointed blade right there. See? Anyway. So, wow, I was looking for that other pipe fitting. But anyway, let me see if I can locate that other pipe fitting to show how the threads were messed up in it. Oh, here it is. Here's the one that it was in. But the threads inside there, it's kind of hard to see. But the threads inside there are just kind of damaged. kind of hard to see in there right now, but and there might be a, see, they're just damaged. But this was the only one that I had last summer when I first got the idea to get this fire pump and hook things up to the well. Okay. So anyway, so there's all the different dilemmas and setups. So I got both of these. I could use this one and put it there if I want and have it going straight up. You know, I just got everything that I could. Plus, you know, I got all these valves here. This one comes out too and spins. And there's that one. So that I can fill this with water, because I realize now that when I'm putting water inside this, you know, this thing comes off here. When I put water in this, it does not go all the way through because this flapper valve stops it from going through, and it doesn't fill the whole pipe up. Which I want all this pipe to be filled with water connecting to there, plus the pipe in the ground, so that when I start this up, and I can come over and open all these valves. Well, I could open that valve too. And when I start it up, the only valve I have to open up is this one. To have all the water in it, so that when it starts pumping, it'll start, you know, it'll start pumping right away. Because they say that this pump inside here, if it goes without water for 5 minutes, then it'll damage it. So anyway, so I'm going to have to spend another $120 so far. All this pipe was 80. This was 60. That's 140. This was $60. I got that like 5 years ago. And then there's some other pipe in here that I got the other day. Some I got that one and that one. So 80 plus 60, 140, probably 150 in pipe that I've got this year. Plus it's gonna have to be another 120. So that's gonna be 150 plus 120. That's gonna be 270. Plus the pipe wrench, another 6. So we'll just call it $300 even that I'm gonna be spending this summer. This right here was $300 for the pump. So this stuff here was just like $6 a foot. So that's 2 foot. And this is electroconduit. This is for electrical lines to go through. This is not for fire pumps, but I wanted to use it, so that's where I got it. These clamps were $9 each, and these are from England. These are the strongest clamps that there are. Notice these ones, they kind of welded together, and these ones are just kind of loose in there. Same clamps, different setups. So basically this is a $600 well setup. $600 to see if I can get water pumping through this thing from this well. And I know that it's possible because I saw a YouTube video on a guy that already did it. So I know it's possible. But I had already come up with the idea that I was going to hook a fire pump to this well. And then I started looking on YouTube for videos to see if someone already did it. And sure enough, someone did. So it's just a matter of, you know, keeping at it till I get everything sealed and all the valves just right and the water just right, no leaks in it. Start it up and I should be able to get it going. And once I get it going and I get water coming out the other end of it, then the last thing I'm going to get is a fire hose and a nozzle. So anyway, so that's where I am. That's where I'm at with it. Now this right here solves the problem if I want to. It solves the problem having to remove this all the time in order to turn stuff, or to loosen this all the time. This is a kind of like a turn valve, and then they clink together inside there. It's supposed to be so that both sides turn, but right now it's tight. I'd have to get the pipe wrenches and loosen it up. But this is, you know, this allows, you know, this would allow me to screw stuff in and get it tight, like I said, without having to loosen that up and turn this inside that, or get this off and then just spin it and get it just right, and then connect it back up, on and off all the time. And this right here, this is a $40 valve, $40 piece, new at the store. So, but here I got it, weighs a pound, probably 2 pounds, and that was only $2 or $4 at the most. And of course, you know, I got this idea, you know, that if I wanted to, you know, I could hook this up to it. I can hook this up to it right here. You know, hook that up to it right there. And then connect a hose fitting to it up here at the top. Plus have the fire hose at there. So I probably have to put it on low. Oh shit, this thing's turned it off. Turn it on low for, you know, garden hose, or get a high pressure garden hose, one that'll hold 150, 200 pounds of pressure. But anyway, that's the idea for that. So I could have one, you know, the whole idea, this whole system is to, in case the fire comes this way, you know, I don't have any insurance on the house, so I'd just be here fighting the fire, breathing smoke. I'll get a smoke mask and face shield. It'd just be me and the cat, and everyone else will probably evacuate, and I'll be here and I'll fight the fire. So I'll have a regular big 1.5-inch fire hose, 150 foot worth of hose, so I can go over the yard, and then I'll have the garden hose also, so where I can just hit light stuff if I need to, you know, turn the motor down and just save on gas that way. And I had the idea to get some type of battery siphon drill, so I could connect it to the gas tanks on the cars, and that way I'll have a supply of gasoline, unleaded gasoline, instead of having to depend on 5-gallon fucking gas jugs, run out of gas on those. I'll just pump it from the 20-gallon tanks. I got 2 cars, gas tanks out there. One's 20 gallons, one's 13 gallons. So should be plenty of gas to face a fire with if I need to face it. So anyway, so that's that. I'll keep the video short. But here's other connectors. I just got a bunch of other stuff that I thought I'd need: nipples, shut-offs, plugs, different variations, because I never know. I'd be coming up with all kinds of different ideas presented in the brain. So anyway, so that's the plan. And now I got two pipe wrenches now, which is what I really needed. Because playing around with those channel locks that I had, they're just not big enough. So this one's a heavy duty, and this one's just a drop forced. See the big difference? Same size, but one's thick, one's thin. See that? And I tore the fuck out of this one last year, seeing if I could get that pipe out of the ground with these hydraulic jacks here. But it wouldn't come out. So anyway, so that's that. So till the next video. Later days.